this next event, this next speaker. For each gala, select one of the students to give what I really consider to be the keynote address of the evening. I'm going to share some more comments and some thoughts with you later, but I really do consider this next talk to be the keynote address. This next speaker is from our junior class and has distinguished himself of having great leadership. He's an excellent writer, depth of thought, very well articulated, and has a great devotion to our Lord. And these more than qualify him to deliver this next speech. And so I'm very excited to introduce to you tonight our keynote speaker for the night from the junior class of Chesterton Academy, Mr. Logan McVay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming out here tonight. I hope that this evening has been a deeply rewarding experience for each of you. It is an honor to be sharing this evening with all of you. My name is Logan McVay, and I'm a junior here at Chesterton Academy of the Sacred Heart. And tonight I wish to speak with you all a bit about the high school experience here at Chesterton. To begin with, I'd like to share a few facts about myself. I'm the oldest of 8. I've lived in 4 different states, and I have attended 8 different schools, 3 of which being high schools. And just in case you're wondering, no, I did not get kicked out of any of them. Before we can evaluate the high school experience, it is necessary to first define what a high school ought to be. A high school should be a place where a student can achieve exceptional learning and guidance for becoming the best version of themselves they can be, simultaneously offering rigorous study and the opportunity to mature into adulthood, leaving behind childish behavior. We students are cursed by that title, teenager. Not because there's anything intrinsically wrong with our stage of life, at least, I hope not. But there are many stereotypes that come along with being a teenager. One of these reasons that I believe that many teens are so corrupt in today's society is because that they are expected to live up to a certain level. And when the bar is set low, many only go to reach that bar. And few will go above and beyond what is expected of them until they are trained to seek what is higher than them. As a teenager myself, I know that I am still discovering who I am and what I'm supposed to do with the gift of life given me. And I can tell you that once you are expected to do great things, it is so much easier to achieve great things. As Chesterton students, we are placed in an environment where we are treated with great respect, and this respect is radiant throughout the school in both the students and in the teachers, whom I have had the great privilege to get to know and frequently interact with both in and out of the classroom. I've seen many different experiences in my high school years, and in each one I've had opportunities to grow in my faith. Some I never took. For example, in the second half of my freshman year, I was given the opportunity to attend daily mass, adoration, and weekly confession. I did attend the March for Life, but it was mostly for the experience rather than for the life-changing event as it should be. Through my fault only, I was not utilizing these gifts given me. I did participate in the choir and the chess club, and I worked hard-ish in my classes. There was homecoming, football and basketball games, prom, and other clubs throughout the school. And all of these things, which are objectively good, are what typically make up to be what we consider today to be the high school experience. As a freshman, I thought all these things were the right way, and possibly even the only way. I discovered the following year that there was yet another way. I transferred to Chesterton at the beginning of my sophomore year, mostly due to the continued insinuation of my mother. Thanks, Mom. And I was honestly not all that excited. I was still what you might call a lukewarm Catholic at the time, and I was definitely being spat out. I had little trust in those around me, and those I loved gave me little trust in return. The first day of my sophomore year, I stepped into the building, and I had the first taste of what my parents had signed me up for. I was greeted with a handshake. "Good morning, Mr. McVay. How are you doing today?" To which I responded, Good. A prompt reply followed. Well, what are you good at? This school ought to be interesting. At the beginning of my sophomore year, I retained many of my freshman ideals. I get to sing. Cool. Acting should be fun. I love to learn, and the course materials are both interesting and challenging. I get to dance. Dance. No. No, I would not. I was adamant that I would not dance, and fortunately for me, due to the restrictions in place with COVID last year, I didn't have to. Unfortunately for me, my mother had different ideas. There was an option for learning to swing dance outside of classes, and my mother signed me up, and I did not like it. At all. Until a few weeks later, I actually began to understand what I was doing, and I slunk home with wounded pride, confessing that I might, just maybe, enjoy dancing. Now, a year and a half and quite a few neighborhood garage dances later, I believe that dance is a crucial part of the well-rounded man, because it provides key information on the cultures and customs of a society. In each of our classes, we learn not only what is essential to know, such as matters of church doctrine and first principles, we also learn how to appropriately read and dissect different written works, whether fiction or nonfiction, teaching all of us how to formulate our own opinions on any given topic. Dr. Russell recently told us during one of our literature classes that we live in a consumer society. How much can we take without doing any labor? He said that here we do not get that convenience. He said, we don't get to come in and see him and take his knowledge. He told us that we are not the class, he is not the class. Rather, we are the class. This is why we sit round table, so that we can better see our peers. This is why we must contribute in the class, because we learn so many things from the insight of not only of our teachers, but from the students as well. It is true that at Chesterton we do not have many of the normal high school opportunities, and because we're a small school, oftentimes people tend to see what we miss out on before they see what we have gained. As Catholics, we strive for something higher than comfort. Pope Benedict XVI said that you were not made for comfort, you were made for greatness. And we show this through our activities. We still have school dances, but we don't have homecoming or prom. Our dances are school-wide, and we learn different styles of dance, such as swing dance and the waltz. Many schools don't have this opportunity. They don't have the opportunity to start the day as a whole school with the sacrament of the Mass. They don't have the opportunity or the privilege to get to know every individual student and teacher in the school personally. And this is what compels me to share with you all tonight the greatest gift that I believe this school possesses: the community. I have never met a group of teenagers who are as loyal or as steadfast in what they hold true as those sitting among you this evening. Each one of them is responsible, accountable, and trustworthy. These students can hold their own in a disagreement or debate and can quickly resolve them without conflict. All of us have our faults, and we seek to grow in them, and oftentimes the first to point out one of your mistakes is one of your peers, all the while giving you constructive feedback for future improvement. It is true that at Chesterton we bond differently than many other high schools. 2 years ago, I never thought that I would be singing songs while washing dishes on retreat with my class, or spending entire nights and evenings dancing with the school, or even just spending as much time as I do with my class outside of school hours. And this is what makes Chesterton so unique. The friendships I have gained here are the strongest I've ever had, and I am honored to be a part of this community. Each day I find myself working and praying with my peers, and this is the greatest gift that Chesterton has to offer. Throughout our day, we endeavor to grow in service, whether it be by helping a teacher or by complimenting a classmate. And in doing so, we are cultivating the next generation of adults. In literature class the other day, one of my classmates said something very profound. We are attracted to people who are sure of who they are and what they want to do with their lives. Sit on that for a second. I can tell you all that each each of the students in the school are sure of who they are and of what they want to be. These students around you know that they are children of God and that they are called to be saints. This goal is really difficult to achieve, and thus Dante tells us, if this present world has gone askew, look to yourselves. In yourselves lies the cause. It is intriguing to me that there are only two possible scenarios at your death. At your death, a final choice is made, and it is not made by God. It is made by you. That's the high school experience. That is the Chesterton difference. Thank you.